Listen, listen, I'm telling you my story. You can sit there and smile and look holy. I'm telling you my story now. Listen carefully. Listen carefully, because I'll only say it once. I'm in Ipswich there, and I was working somewhere. I had no visa anywhere to work. They were not allowing me to work. Now, for you to believe that now a multi-millionaire is telling you he never had a visa to work. One of my people reported me to the Home Office that this guy is working with no visa. Oh, I like it. Because I had stayed for too long in one location when God said start a church. I'm getting in my house and the Home Office is there and the policeman is there. Says we are here to monitor. We're just doing a routine check. You understand? Have you ever seen the day you were born? Some people didn't get it, so. And they couldn't say in those days that somebody told us that you are working without a working visa. But they were allowed by the law to explain who told them to be in the location. They couldn't be just in a place. They had to say who said what. And they said the name. I said, how? So I'm here to see my brother here. My brother came out and discussed with them. And as they were discussing, I disappeared from the scene. I went into Mount Zion. Sit down, sit down. I remember getting a bus to Manchester. From where? Where are you going? I have no idea. Because I didn't want all these questions like, why are you working with no visa? You have no working visa. I just visited. I was on a visit. I had 40 pounds in my pocket. I started asking God, you said I should start a church. He said, yeah, I told you way back. You started a church here. And what were you doing all this time? Working. When your life is not yours, somebody controls it. Trust me on it. Somebody controls it. I said when your life is not yours, somebody controls it. Somebody will be controlling it. Now hear this now. I'm right there. I'm on the bus going somewhere. I remember I knew of one of my relatives years back. And we've been trying to get a hold of this guy. And we couldn't get a hold of him. Called home, called everywhere to try to get this guy. Nothing, zero. And I began to talk to God on that bus. I only had 40 pounds. I bought the ticket and just said, there, I'm going to Manchester. I've never been there. I've never been anywhere in Britain. Only in one location called Ipswich, and that's the end of it. Where are you going to Manchester? And when you get there, you don't have a return ticket. I'm talking to God, complaining. Lord, thou deceived me and I was deceived. For thou mightier than I. Jeremiah 20 verse number 7. Personal Hugote. Lee, 1, 2, 3. Let's read. Oh Lord, thou hast deceived me and I was deceived. Thou art stronger than I. In other words, if I was stronger than you and you prevailed, I'm in derision daily. Everyone mocks me. The story of prophets. I want to be a prophet. I'm prophet so and so now. Prophet Google. Prophet binocular. When you get there and everyone is mocking you, it's not 1 or 2 arguments. No. The governments of nations can be against one man. That's true. People you used to help will band together, create fake YouTube so that they can get. See, one man of God came to me and said, "What? This person is lying about me. I've never seen him. I've never done this. I've never done." I said, don't worry. While you think he is worried about he's telling the truth that you are fake, he's not interested in that. Them 1 million views give you how much? Maybe 1,000, or sometimes, depending on the education of you, sometimes $2,000. So he's simply concerned with $2,000. The fact that he said you are a prostitute, you are a liar, doesn't matter to him. He's not emotional about that issue. For him, it's only the clicks. So it's only gullible people who sit there and go like, wow, is that what the men did? These people. And the guy knows at the end of the month I get $2,000. That's all he gets money for. But when it's nations and they begin to prevent you to get into nations, and visas are cancelled, you are banned from entering nations, and your resources are frozen. If you buy a building, the government says it's now our building. That's when you realize that title I used wasn't supposed to be so. I should have gone with apostle, teacher, pastor, and move. Don't you think Pastor Chris is prophetic? Why is he not using prophet? Because God would grab him and say, just use this, and I will use you in all the areas you are in. Is he not the apostle to the dispensation? Why doesn't he come and say, I am the apostle as an apostle? No, he doesn't. It is not in the title, it's in the functionality. I said it's in the functionality. Are you flowing or you've gone home? And I was about to get to Manchester. I'm not talking about to get to Manchester, it's 20 minutes. No, maybe an hour to Manchester. I'm sitting there. That guy that I had looked for years, where he was and couldn't find, calls me on the phone. Where did you get my phone? It's like, oh, I had it for the last 5 months. And you never called me. Now, I was ready to go wherever he was, but I had 40 pounds, remember, and I bought the ticket. And I'm going to Manchester. I said, so what's happening? He said, I want you to come during the weekend. Please, 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 just come attend this. My brother is graduating. I said, I'm coming. Wherever that is, right now. I said, where are you? He said, Manchester. I said, I'm renting. That's how I ended in Manchester. You plan. Next year I'll go here. No, our lives are inconvenienced by God. The day you want to go this direction, he goes that direction. Inconvenienced by God. That's why my first book I've ever written, and you have never read it, is called Disappointed by God. I'll reproduce it so you hear it. When God begins to manipulate your life so that it suits his calling. Do you understand? God can literally say, don't eat this food today. Go to African food. So which African food? I want you to eat bangu now. From Ghana. You're like, I've never tried it. Say, go there. You wake up and say, I need bangu. So what do you mean? Tomorrow say, I need fufu. Have you ever eaten fufu? No. Your appetite will change to God's appetite. But you have never followed God until he controls what you wear. You've never had nothing. Everything is planned by you. So whenever some of us are inconvenienced and you are in our lives, you will also be inconvenienced. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Until one day you say, hey, this is a man of God. This is a prophet of God. Any move, any turn, it can just happen. I move with a lot of people here and it can change. Any second can shift. I can be thinking, let's go that direction. I'm like, no, we're no longer doing that. We're not doing this. And if you're around me and you don't like detours and changes, your life will be so miserable. So miserable. We can plan tomorrow morning. All of us are going to the shop to buy. That same morning, I wake up and say, all of us, we are praying. And you can see people just looking at you like, so what about the shopping? And in that moment, that shopping becomes very detestable to me, that when you introduce it, you become my enemy. Immediately you become an enemy.
Yes.
It is holding the powers of God. So every time God's heart beats faster, you go like, okay, something is off somewhere. What is happening? That's why Jesse Duplantis would say, every time in the morning, I just wake up and extend my hands and say, God, come, I want to hug you. Now, if you hear such a language, you think, he's playing with God. My father told me one time, when he found me praying, I was busy praying, and when I'm praying, you understand, it's like you're eating good food, and you just go, so Lord. He knocked on my door like this. I came out, said, come here. I followed him. If you knew my father, he was like a lion. The guy would speak once, you will hear 15 times. You don't know what he was going to do to you. You just go follow. Followed. In the middle of the yard, whatever we call yard in Africa, which is of course the extent of your household, and he stood in the middle like this. He said, in Nigeria we call it compound. And he stood in the middle. He pointed to the gate. He said, do you see that? I said, yes. So I know you pray even more than me now. I was young. He said, but God is so huge. What you have done with God is not allowed. I said, huh? I'm just quiet. He didn't answer. Ask him. You don't answer my father or his father. That will be the last time. Your funeral will be the following minute. And he says, what you have done, you took one of his handkerchiefs. He said, you did this to God. You put him in your pocket. Now when you pray, you go. God should not be your friend. God is so good. You put him out of the yard. You wake up and say, how are you? I realized this guy didn't understand God at all. But I could understand the revelation he had was for respect and honor to God. He didn't understand the other subject, but the Pentecostal thing or the evangelical mistake is to think God is so friendly. You miss the God of fire. Everyone, if you ask them, they say God is a loving God. Read the parameters of love. Love is just. What does it mean? That means it is judgmental. God can judge you. It deals with the imbalances of the rules and the regulations, and it can ban you. That's why the Bible says love your enemy. Now, all of you think that's what God is saying. Comma, for it will pour hot coals of fire on their head.